Welcome back to JB Reviews. I am sitting inside of a 2020 Jeep Wrangler. Now this is going to be an unlimited, which means it's going to be 4 doors, and it is a sport model. But once you start taking a look around this Wrangler, you'll see really quickly that this has a lot of really key features that make it not so much a sport. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm not sure if you can see this color or how well it's picking up on the camera, but this color is actually called Pumpkin Metallic. Because it is October, because Halloween's almost here, I felt like it was pretty fitting to pick this color for this video. Now this is going to be a manual transmission, and I have not driven a manual in a while, so give me a second so I don't embarrass myself today. Alright, so we're driving the Wrangler right now. I'm in 3rd gear. This is a 6-speed manual, as I mentioned, and man, I really love the way this thing feels. I've driven a lot of the JK Wranglers in the past, and I never really liked the way they handled how they felt. I mean, it really was a box on frame. I mean, you didn't really have this much control and much, comfort as you do now. I mean, this is way more comfortable than the previous generation. And I mean, just having this manual transmission, like I think that if I were to buy a Wrangler, I would have to have the manual transmission. I love the way it feels. I mean, I'm sitting in 4th gear right now, and I'm at just a little bit over 1,500 RPM at 45 miles an hour. That is crazy. If I were to jump over to 6th gear, I mean, it drops just under 1,000 RPM. So you're going to get easily the fuel economy that they're saying if you're driving about 50 miles an hour. Now, it is a windy day today, so I don't know if I should do the fuel economy run, but we're going to do it anyways. I'm at just under 1,500 RPMs at 50 miles an hour. I mean, this is just a breeze. I love the way this thing handles. Really nice. Now, if I were to drop it down to 3rd gear, I'm at 25, 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 4,500, and 3rd gear at 80 miles an hour. I mean, that just goes to show you how much power this thing has. I mean, this thing is pretty impressive. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna show you guys a 0 to 60 here. There's a car coming right now. All right, here we go. There we go. But as I mentioned, you have a lot of performance on this too, and if you get into a pinch where you need to hit the brakes, I mean this thing, it locks up nicely, and I don't feel like it's all over the road. If you are in the market for a Wrangler, this is something that you could live with day to day. I just took off in 3rd gear. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's just, man, so much performance. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for coming in. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I normally do a very short MPG run loop. What I normally do is I'll use the computer and I'll just go on a quick 50 to 55 mile an hour run, and I'll loop back around, and I'll just kind of show you guys the fuel economy that I'm getting. I'll make sure I do more examples of other SUVs similar to this, that way you have a good idea. Maybe I'll take a lifted Wrangler out, just kind of show you the difference in the fuel economy too, so stay tuned for that. But I gotta tell you, having this soft top, man, it's noisy. I think that I would probably skip this and go for the hard top, just because for me, sometimes I'd like to drive with no music on and just listen to the wind, but not this much wind. There's a lot of wind noise, and it being a windy day today, overall the handling is still good. I don't find that the wind coming under the SUV is it's pushing all over the road. I feel like it's pretty planted. And I'm doing about 50 miles an hour right now. I'll set the cruise control. I'm in 5th gear. I feel like if I was in 6th, I might just be in too high of a gear if I'm right there. Maybe I'll go to 55, and that might help me a little bit. This is the perfect model to get. I mean, for price point, this is a sport model, as I mentioned. I'll show you guys the window sticker here in a second. But I like the amount of options you get. Like, this does have the LED headlights, which you'll see in a moment. It does have the soft top, which is going to be cheaper. But overall, man, I mean, you still get, a really nice screen in your speedometer. You still get a decent sized screen here. And again, I'll show you the sizes of these things too. You still get dual climate control. I mean, there's just so many things that you get. You have USBs everywhere, and I just find that having this type of SUV that's so capable off-road is just so nice to have. I do know a lot of people complain about the pricing of the Wrangler, but I look at the Wrangler kind of like the Mercedes G-Wagon. The G-Wagon is in a class of its own. Like, there's nothing really out there that really truly competes with it, because it has that boxy design. I mean, of course, you have the Range Rover, but I just feel like the G-Wagon is still kind of like in a hidden gem. Like when BMW came out with the X6, Mercedes came out with their variation of like that SUV coupe. And I feel like the Wrangler is kind of like in that class by itself. So a lot of people complain about the pricing, but I think it's priced well for what it is. Because if they start bringing out other variations, like if Toyota were to come back out with the FJ Cruiser and really try to tackle this kind of design with a four-door, variation of it, or if Ford does inevitably come out with the Ford Bronco and kind of gives this some competition, you'll probably start seeing the pricing of these things start to really switch around a little bit to be more competitive. But for now, I mean, if you want a Wrangler, I mean, they lease well, they have high resale values. I mean, this is just a really good option to have if you are in the market for a Wrangler. So as mentioned, this is going to be a 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport 4x4. The standard engine for this Wrangler is going to be a 3.6 liter V6 also. The 6-speed manual will be standard too. And this is going to be a short listing of all your standard equipment. This does have Dana axles too, front and rear. Comes standard with a 3.5 inch cluster also. And then this is where your optional equipment is going to start. First thing you have there is going to be that customer preferred package, which is $3,200. And everything that you see down below is going to start there. And at the very top, that's everything else that's included. Your technology group is going to be the next one up. 7-inch display. And you're going to also have a 7-inch screen inside your cluster also. Google, Android, and Apple CarPlay come with this package too. And you're also going to get the air conditioner with automatic temperature control. Now, the one option I would have to have is the LED headlight. The headlights on the Wrangler are really good. They're basically the same as a Gladiator. I had a chance to drive a Gladiator at night, and the headlights were just amazing. The convenience package is going to give you the universal garage door opener. You do not get the remote start because of the fact that it has a manual transmission. Co-weather group, heated steering wheel, heated front seats. Safety group is just below there. And then you're also going to have just a few other options on here. Side steps, premium black Sunrider soft top, 17-inch wheels. Destination comes in at $1,495, and you have a total price of $42,550. And then here are some of your fuel economy numbers here. Alright, so we are at the midpoint. I'm at 22.9. I'm gonna make a U-turn up top. This is what I do on all my other videos. I just come up here, I take a U-turn. I will tell you, driving the stick shift and holding the camera is not ideal. Let's see if I can do a full turnaround right here. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Man, that was easy. So whenever I do this with my heavy duty trucks, I have to back up. And this thing just nimbled around that like it was nothing. But I'm gonna go ahead and get back on the road here. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna see what kind of Philly comment we're gonna get. I normally deduct typically 1 or 2, you know, in my head, if you don't like to trust the computer. But on my truck, the computer is very accurate. I find that if you're driving at a constant pace, it does come out more accurate. But if you do a lot more like idling, things like that, it does kind of get off a little bit. But let's go ahead and get back on the road. So I'm driving with the cruise controller on right now. I'm at 55 miles an hour. I'm at 22.5. And I mean, like I said, I'm getting hit by a little bit of wind too, so keep that in mind. But you know, I gotta tell you, one thing I hate about the Wrangler, I just feel like I can never get the perfect seating position. I don't know what it is. I feel like me, maybe because I'm a little bit taller, I wouldn't want this to be a long-term car for me. This would be like a third vehicle. Like I would only drive this when I want to take the top off, or if I'm going on a trip in the woods, or if I want to go off the road. But for me to just do this as a daily driver, I probably would never do this. Like my company gives us cars to drive. They have not yet added a Wrangler to our fleet, but I'm pretty sure if they did, a lot of people would jump to get the Wrangler. I don't think I would be one of those people. I think that I would prefer to have what I have now, which is a Durango, Grand Cherokee, and I think my next one probably might be a Ram. We'll see, Ram 1500. But again, I don't know yet. We'll have to see what the future holds. But for the most part, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of how I feel inside this, because I'm 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". I just feel a little cramped. I mean, I'm not a skinny guy, but I'm not a big guy either. I mean, I'm not wide. I'm just long. This is not uncomfortable for, you know, short trips, maybe an hour, 2-hour trip or something like that. That'd be fine. All right, so we're pretty much back at the dealership. I'm at 23.7. Man, that's good. I cannot wait to try out an 8-speed to see how well it does. But as I mentioned earlier, man, this thing gets a lot of looks in the orange. It just really does. Like, people really like seeing these loud colors on the Wrangler. I mean, I do too, actually. I think it's kind of fun. You know, I would always kind of run the white, maybe even like a dark gray. But when you're gonna get something like this, you gotta have a little bit of fun with it, you know? Gotta make a left turn. I used to have a Subaru in the past that was a stick shift, and if you can learn how to drive a stick shift on that thing, you could drive a stick shift just about on anything, in my opinion. I found that with an all-wheel drive, so it would do like this little rock thing, so you had to launch it perfectly. If you didn't, it was just uncomfortable for anyone in the car with you. But this is really easy to drive. Like the clutch on the floor is so easy, like it's just so light, and it's right in the middle. Like, so when you let off, it's like almost, well, it's kind of at the end of it. Like when you lift off the pedal, I mean, it has like a nice feel to it. Like it doesn't feel like you just know where you need to lift off at, basically. But we're pretty much at the dealership now. I'm at 23.5. As soon as I get up this little hill here, that's where I pretty much ended at. We did about 10.8 miles at 16 minutes. And 23.4 is where we stopped it at. So that's not bad. So as time goes, I'll drive some Gladiators, I'll drive some lifted Wranglers and Gladiators too. And you guys will have a better idea of the fuel economy with this thing. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior, and then we'll take a look at the payload on the door. All right, so this is gonna be your pumpkin metallic paint. I really like the combination too with the wheels. It has like a gray paint on them, looks really good. And this is riding on 245/75s 17s. Out front, you are going to have LED headlights, fog lights, and accent lights too. really like the way this looks in this color too. And just to kind of give you a little better look at that orange paint in the sun there. Give you a good idea what it looks like with that red tail light. You can see your backup camera in the back of the spare tire. There is no rear hitch on this also, but you do have parking sensors just below in the rear bumper. I like the fact that you can't really see them. Some manufacturers are starting to really hide those, which is good too. You do have a tow hook on just below right here. But overall, this is a really cool, really, you know, standard Wrangler, but it has a lot of nice options on it. Now, if you do get this soft top, you will have to kind of feed this piece here under the plastic part, just under here. And same thing goes on the sides. I mean, it's not hard at all to do. You just undo it that way, and you just kind of pull on it like that, and then you can just open up the rear pretty easily. But I mean, I don't know, you might get a little annoyed by that over time if you do use this a lot as your daily driver. This is where you're going to fill up at. I've noticed a few people actually do get a locking gas cap for this also. Out back, you do have some pretty good leg room back here. This seat is all the way back. You will be pretty cramped if you had 3 adults back here, but for kids, they'll probably kick the seat for sure. But for the most part, you know, if you have young kids below the age of 10, they'll be pretty comfortable back here. And if you're interested, this is what it looks like with the top back. All you have to do is just pull 2 hooks up front and then push it back. And you can go down the road just like this. Show you what it looks like up top. So this is gonna be for the back occupants. And out front, you just have a huge sunroof. I just noticed that they put their XM radio antenna in here too, so you don't even see that it's up here. So really quickly, I'd like to show you guys just the numbers for the Wrangler from the factory. You're gonna have a gross axle weight rating up front at 2,700 pounds, with the rear coming in at 3,000 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is gonna be 5,300 pounds. And this is gonna vary from SV to SUV, but they all have the same number, I believe, at 850 pounds. So just keep that in mind. I mean, this is just for you just to have as an understanding that you don't overload your vehicle going down the road, especially if you plan on putting a lot of aftermarket features to it also. So just be careful when you're doing those types of things. But other than that, like I said, I hope you guys like the video. Plan on doing some more rides in the 2.0 and hopefully do a automatic for the V6 also. If I find some mild hybrids too, I'll be sure to do a test drive on those too, because there's a lot of options out there for the Wrangler. I think that if you are in the market for one, you have to make sure you make the right decision, because there's so many different ways you can spice this thing up, and you want to make sure you get it done right the first time. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.